What if I told you that you could create some seriously stunning art without ever picking up a paintbrush or a stylus? That all you really need are the right words. It sounds kind of like magic, right? Well, today we're going to dive into this amazing world where just one sentence can become a total masterpiece. I mean, take a look at this. It's beautiful, it's complex. You'd think it took someone days, maybe even weeks to create. But here's the wild part. This image, and literally millions of others just like it, can be generated in just a few seconds. So what's the secret sauce? It's simple, really. It all starts with a text description, an idea that you have in your head, translated into the language that an AI can understand. All right, so let's get into it. AI Art's creative spark, from an idea to an image. We're going to start with the absolute most fundamental building block here. This is the core concept you have to get, because it's how you'll communicate your vision and bring it to life. And that building block is called a prompt. Now, it's exactly what it sounds like, a text description you give to an AI. But I want you to think about it as way more than that. It's your instruction, sure, but it's also your idea, your creative spark. You're basically the director, and the prompt is you telling the AI exactly what you want to see. Okay, to make this all a bit more concrete, we're going to follow a single fun idea through this whole explainer. And our guide for this journey is going to be this little guy right here. Let's make him our muse. We're going to imagine a whole world for him and see how our words can actually build that world from scratch. And here it is. This is the core idea, our prompt, captured in just one sentence. A jazz-loving robot painting under a neon moon. See how every part of that sentence does some heavy lifting? Jazz-loving robot, that's our character. Painting, that's the action. Under a neon moon. Bam, that's our mood and our lighting. This one little sentence is the blueprint for everything. So, you've got your prompt. Now what? Where do you go with it? Well, that brings us to our next section, choosing your digital canvas. You can think of all the different AI art tools out there as unique collaborators. Each one has its own style, its own way of seeing the world, and it's going to interpret your prompt differently. And here are some of the big names you'll run into. You've got tools like OpenAI's ImagineGen and Google's Imagen. They're kind of like the creative Swiss Army knives. Then you have Midjourney, which is famous for creating these super artistic, really detailed images. Stable Diffusion is a total powerhouse, especially because it's open source, so you can really get under the hood and customize it. And then there are others, like Leonardo AI, that are really focused on specific, stylistic looks that artists love. Now, you might be asking, why do they all give you something different from the same prompt? Well, they're all trained on slightly different massive libraries of images and text, so each one has its own, let's call it, an artistic personality. Our robot prompt is going to look different in every single one of these, and that's not a bug, it's a feature. Exploring that is where the real fun starts. Okay, so you've got your idea, you've picked a tool, or maybe a couple of them to play with. So what's next? The great news is that no matter which tool you're using, the basic process is pretty much the same. So let's break down what I like to call the 4-step creative ritual. It's super simple. Okay, check it out. Step 1, you write your idea, your prompt. Step 2, you hit that generate button and let the AI work its magic. Step 3 is crucial. You look at what it gave you. What do you like? What's not quite right? And that leads to step 4. You refine. You go back, you tweak your prompt a little, and you go again. It's this constant loop. Prompt, generate, compare, refine. That's the whole game. So you get the loop now, right? And you can probably see that the most powerful part of that loop is writing and refining your prompts. So let's focus on that. How do you actually speak the AI's language a little better? Here are some basic tips. My biggest piece of advice? Start simple. Seriously, don't try to throw the kitchen sink at it right away. Just get your main idea down, something like a robot painting. Then you start adding layers. What's the style or the mood? Is it dreamy? Is it dramatic? Then get even more specific. Control the lighting in the camera. Add words like neon lighting or wide-angle shot. Each word is another layer of control. Okay, we've covered the what, the where, and the how of all this. But for this last part, let's talk about what might be the single most important piece of the puzzle, your mindset. How you approach this, well, it changes everything. It's all about learning through play. And this really says it all. The best way to learn is just to play. Seriously, don't put all this pressure on yourself to make a perfect masterpiece on your first try. That's not the point. The point is discovery. The goal is just to see what happens. What happens if I change this one word? What if I add cinematic to my prompt? That's where the learning is. So let me ask you a question. As you start messing around with this stuff, why do you think you should actually expect surprises? Because that's where the magic happens. Those unexpected results, those happy accidents, they're not mistakes, they're insights. The AI might take your words and go in a direction you never ever would have thought of on your own. And that can spark a whole new idea. That's not a failure, that's a discovery. And another quick question for you. Why is it so valuable to take that one prompt of yours and run it through a few different tools? Right, it's like you've got a whole team of different artists working for you. Each one gives you a different take, and by doing that, you really start to learn each tool's personality. Its strengths and weaknesses. You'll quickly figure out, oh, this one's amazing for photorealism, or this other one really nails that painterly look. It helps you find the right collaborator for your vision. So, with all that in mind, here are your first creative steps. Think of it as your one prompt project. It's easy. Just pick one idea, your own jazz-loving robot, whatever it is. Try that same prompt in 2 or 3 different tools, and just notice the differences. Then, use what you learn from that little experiment to go back, refine your prompts, and really start to build your own personal style. And really, that's it. It's that simple to get started. Your first prompt is just a blank page, a world of possibility that's just waiting for you to describe it. So, the only question left is, what are you going to create?